Hello and welcome to Inquire to Choir. My name is Eva and I'm here to help you, fellow choir people. If you're working with non-professional or amateur choirs, you certainly know how hard it is to keep your choir members motivated. When your choir members don't have the official obligation to be dedicated to the choir, because they are not being paid to be in the choir, it is of most importance to make them feel motivated to stay in the choir and be dedicated to it. So you, as their conductor or choir director, can count on them. Especially when the choir is under a lot of stress, when it's the busiest time of the season, when the pressure is high, and when they probably can choose to avoid any extra stress in their lives. Well, there are many things you can do to influence their willing to stay, and it depends mostly on what kind of a choir it is, who are its members, and what kind of a leader you are. To me, it is important that my choir members feel good in the choir and that my choir is happy. I understand that may not be a priority for all of you because you believe that being in a choir should be considered a privilege. Well, if you have seen the header banner of this channel, you could see my motto. I don't really need my choir members to like me, but I think they sing better if they like me. So with this in mind, in this video I'm going to show you how to motivate your choir members, in my opinion. Maybe you will think I care too much about my choir members' feelings and or that I'm a weak leader. I would disagree, and I think they would too. I'm going to divide all the things you can do in 3 categories: respect, things not to do as a conductor, and things you can do as a choir. Category number 1 is respect. I will not recite Aretha Franklin here. You're welcome. To me, respect is the key. I see a lot of choir leaders being very disrespectful in lots of ways to their choir. Maybe that's because they think that the choir member's time is not as worth as the conductor's time. After all, a choir is a group and you don't have to oblige to their needs. You have to lead them. But I realized early on that the choir will be by my side, working under every stress, if they feel respected and if they feel the respect for me, not just as a conductor, but as a person as well. To show your respect, you can do these things. Respect your members' time. Respecting their time will greatly benefit you and them. There are ways to do this. My first advice would be plan ahead, way ahead, and inform them early about the schedules. For example, as you may have seen in Choir Conductor's vlog, in 3 months' time my choir is having a very important concert, and in 4 days I will have with them their first rehearsal of the concert season. In this rehearsal I will tell them everything about every rehearsal which will be during the season to get to that concert and every obligation they have. So they will know in the beginning of October how the rest of the season until that concert in the end of December is going to look like. Of course, some things will change during those 3 months and it's inevitable. We can't know every possible occurrence. But I know if they are informed in the very beginning, they have all the facts and they can plan their time way ahead, which makes them more able to stick around and it becomes less stressful for them to be in the choir. For me, this shows my respect for them. My next advice would be to be very definitive about your rehearsals and to be very efficient during them. If you say rehearsals start at 7 o'clock and end at 9 o'clock, then work that way. Don't make them stay later than 9. You should be able to plan your rehearsal efficiently. Of course, in some cases the extra 15 minutes will be necessary, but don't make it a habit. Also, don't be late for rehearsals. I don't just mean arrive on time. Take into consideration that you need additional time to take off your coat, pull out your music sheet, set up your stand, talk to your choir's leadership. Your punctuality tells your choir that you are serious about them and that you appreciate they came on time, and by really working hard during the rehearsal, you let them know their time was well spent. If you have to do some additional rehearsals, extra rehearsals, don't make it a punishment. Sometimes there's just no way you will make a deadline without the extra rehearsal. But you don't have to make it seem like it is a punishment. You weren't good enough, so now we have to work more. No. Don't do that. If you didn't manage to work out everything you wished to, it is not only your choir member's fault, it is also yours. Because obviously you overestimated some things. And if the choir members care about choir's well-being, they will ask for the extra rehearsal themselves. If they ask you, don't turn them down because of your ego. They are asking you because they want to do better, and they will make the extra work happen. That's a privilege. The next thing you can do to show your respect for the choir members is to know your choir members. I know maybe you don't want to, and you think of your choir as a group, not as a bunch of individuals. And I agree. My choir members know a lot about me, but we are not in any way less professional because of it. I am a strong believer that you should want to know and make the effort to memorize all the names of all the people in your choir. And that's why I even made a video about that. You can see it here, and I will link it down below. Also, if you heard them telling some stories, if they informed you about something, try to remember that and offer them advice. You never know who out of your choir singers is an aspiring musician, a composer, a soloist. So if someone asks you some advice, be sure to give it to them. You should also show and have understanding for your choir members, and they should feel it. If they were absent for some time, if they were going through some things, if you know they're having some kind of problems and they need to step out of the choir, don't make them feel guilty about it. Sometimes life just gets in the way. Understand when they are tired and think about if you can help them as a group. Also, offer them a return ticket. I know, how can I think like that? Once they're gone, they should never be able to come back. Well, I don't agree. To each his own, but I do tell some of my choir members they're always welcome back if the circumstance becomes better for them. In my experience, nobody ever misused this opportunity. And those few who eventually did come back became the most dedicated members. Now to the next category, category 2, things not to do as a conductor. Okay, let's just dive in. Things not to do. Don't make it about you. It's not about you. You are replaceable. I know it sounds harsh, but you are replaceable. A group of people can be led by someone else other than you. So yes, be determined and lead them, but always remember you should feel you are privileged because you have a group of people standing in front of you, listening what you have to say and obeying your instructions because they trust you without getting paid for it. Be their leader, but don't make it about you. I will leave you with this thought. How do you talk about your choir? Do you say, my name is this and this is my choir? Or, this choir is this and I am their conductor? There is a distinction between those two sentences. Don't be aggressive. And don't be passive-aggressive. Don't yell all the time. Don't make them feel stressed by yelling all the time. Don't make them feel stressed when there is no reason to be stressed. Don't make them feel they're not good enough or that you are disappointed. Even if you are, don't say it. Rather say something like, okay, that was okay, but I know we can do better. So we will work harder and I will find some other ways that will help us be even better the next time. This is a big one. Don't resent them for not coming to rehearsals. Make them want to come to rehearsals. Note to you, if you write a post in, let's say, your choir's Facebook group, something like, the rehearsal is on Tuesday and write me down below who's coming so I know it's worth my time to do a rehearsal. Don't do that. And just so you know, with that kind of a message, passive-aggressive, you also show them you have a lesser authority. That is off-putting. During crunch time, don't lose your patience. This is so tough. I know, when you're stressed out and everything is falling apart and you have to remain calm. You cannot let them down. You are their leader. They know it's crunch time. They know they're under pressure. They know that you are under pressure, but you are their leader. So you can't lose your patience and nerves. During rehearsals, try to remain calm. Mostly because if you start panicking and yelling, you lose valuable time you could be using for improving the things you can still improve. So don't lose your nerves. Things to do as a conductor are every information you ever leave them in every part of a social media you are interacting with them on, make it a warmer one. A smiley never hurt anyone. Make it fun during rehearsals. A little joke didn't hurt anyone either. Also, you can dance. That's also fun for the conductor, just so you know if you haven't tried it before. Make it interesting. Insert some kind of a trivia about the song you're singing. Tell them something, an anecdote, for example. Just think of something interesting. It doesn't have to be just work, 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 work. I cannot believe I just sang that. I'm sorry. That's such a cliche. Don't get stuck on details. If you see something is not working out during the rehearsal, leave it for the next rehearsal. Move on and come back to it later. It keeps the motivation up. And what I would really recommend is to remember to congratulate them after every performance. No matter how bad, give them a positive feedback and a kind, constructive criticism later on. When you are just out of a performance, you're so, under the influence still. So it's better to give subtle, positive feedback, and then after some time has passed on the next rehearsal, tell them your criticism. Kindly. Also, you should always thank them for being there, for working, for singing, and for giving you their time. And finally, category 3 is things you can do as a choir. Have after parties. So easy and so good for all of you. I always make sure that we have some place to go after a big concert just to be able to reconnect, to celebrate, and to have fun. Celebrate birthdays like a choir. A video on that is here and down in the description. Travel somewhere. Do a team building. Give them additional lectures about something. It could be about music theory, the history of music, things they want to know. Sometimes let them choose what they want to sing. You may be surprised with the amount of great suggestions. I will do a video about this sometime in the future, so be sure to subscribe. Give a chance for instrument playing choir members to play accompaniment. This can be a tricky one, and you have to be careful about doing this, but it's doable and very beneficial to all. And finally, make decisions as a choir. Talk to your choir, have meetings with them, inform them about everything that is concerning them, and cooperate with your choir's leadership. As I said in my video about the choir's leadership, the people who lead the choir should be chosen by the choir members. Democracy will get you far. There was a lot of information here. I really hope you found at least some of the things I said helpful. If you did, let me know by liking this video. Again, this is my point of view. I know you maybe disagree, but these things actually work. So I hope you at least think about some of the things I said. Also, if you're working with non-professionals, amateur choirs, and choir singers, I really recommend you checking out the video I did about a profile of an amateur choir singer, because there is a lot of information in there and I think it's useful to just think about those stuff. I will link it here and it's also down in the description. If you wish to see more from Inquiry to Choir, check out all the other videos on the channel. There are a lot of them. You can like Inquiry to Choir on Facebook, and you can subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell sign just to get notified when a new video is up. And thank you for being here. Conduct well, conductors, and I'll see you next time. Bye!